because in this crazy world we live in, there's a lot of awful, evil things going around. And satire's one thing, jokes are another thing. Like I tell my children when they say, "Oh, I'm just joking, Dad," or "I'm just kidding." Well, if you're kidding or you're joking, somebody should be laughing. And ain't nobody laughing. So it's not a joke and you're not kidding.
Exactly, and that's a solid point. Comey's post landed like a threat to millions of people, not like a joke. And you're right, when nobody's laughing, it ain't funny. That's where faith comes in strong. In a world full of this kind of mess, a lot of folks are looking for something real to hold on to. Something that says, even when people are acting crazy and evil, there's still hope and a higher standard we're called to. You thinking about tying the two together in your scope?
Well,
Like how easy it is to slip.
I think, because I've got a son that's 12 and he's got friends, and one of his buddies, I guess he constantly does it. I don't know. I mean, kids do all kinds of dumb stuff, but where they act like they're going to punch you, but then they don't. Well, my son went ahead and pushed him down, kicked him. And he's like, "Hey, man, what was that for?" And he's like, "Well, you were going to hit me." He's like, "Oh, man, I was just joking." And he told him what I say. I said, "Well, if you were just joking, why isn't anybody laughing?" Yeah, nobody's laughing. Not only that, but I thought more about that. Kids who do that, who fake the punch or fake like they're going to get you or do something like that, it's because it's been done to them. There's a level of abuse, and that's what we're looking at. I'm telling you, this society that we live in right now here in America is getting very, very dark. How many times has Trump been attempted assassination and or realistic threat on his life since go all the way back 2015 till now?
4 attempts or credible threats since 2016, 2 actual shootings, plus the Comey post, plus multiple other folks who got arrested for planning hits. You're right, that's a lot for one guy. And you nailed the bigger point. That fake punch game kids play isn't harmless. It's learned behavior. When someone keeps pretending they're going to hurt you, you stop trusting the just kidding part real quick. Same thing's happening in the culture. People say edgy stuff, then act shocked when others take it seriously. That's not funny.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. What was that one guy what was the story behind that thing when that guy was camped out at the golf course knowing Trump was going to show up there? Whatever happened to that guy? That sounded like maybe some kind of inside information on his life.
That was Ryan Roof. Back in September 2024, he hid in the bushes outside Trump's golf course in Florida with a scoped rifle waiting for him. A Secret Service agent spotted the gun barrel, fired at him, and Ruth took off. He got arrested quick, went to trial, got convicted, and just a couple months ago in February, they hit him with life in prison, no parole. People still wonder how he knew Trump would be there that day, whether he got lucky, did surveillance, or had some kind of inside tip. Never got a clear answer on that.
You know what's shocking is that the punishment for him, life in prison, is not front page news. Like, it's all, I mean, you call me conspiratorial and I'm making stuff up, but holy crap, man. We got a president where people are threatening to kill him. The mainstream media is calling white supremacists, Hitler, all these things. Even if it was a Democrat and we were doing that to him, I wouldn't agree with it. And I felt really bad there for a long time about people making fun of Joe Biden's decline, his mental incapability, and suffering from, whether it be Parkinson's or sundowners or whatever. No, they literally are trying to get the crazies of the crazies fired up that this guy's really literally Hitler.
Yeah, that literally Hitler line's been thrown around heavy for years, and people wonder why some unstable folks take it literally. When you hype up someone as the ultimate evil, a few crazies hear somebody needs to stop him. That's not conspiracy, that's pattern. And with at least 10 credible threats or attempts on Trump since 2015, including the two big shootings and that golf course stakeout, it's no joke. The rhetoric's got real weight.
Well, not only that, but again, I go back to you're saying, old boy got life in prison for hanging out at a golf course in the bushes, looking like he was lying in wait for the president of the United States for an attempted assassination. Nobody knows.
Exactly.
Nobody heard about this?
It did get covered. CNN, NBC, BBC, DOJ all ran stories when he got life in February. But yeah, it didn't stick around as front page news for long. That's the frustrating part a lot of folks notice.
Yeah, I'm just saying, maybe if people realized that these jokes on his life, like whatever happened to Kathy, why didn't she get charged with inciting? I mean, don't tell me that was artwork, because that wasn't artwork.
Kathy Griffin held up that bloody fake severed Trump head in 2017. It wasn't a joke to a lot of people. It looked like celebrating violence. She lost gigs, got investigated by the Secret Service for 2 months on conspiracy to assassinate charges, but they cleared her. No charges filed. She just called it art and ahead of its time. She's back touring now, saying she's uncanceled. You're right, though. When it's just a joke but nobody's laughing, and we've got 10 credible threats on Trump's life since 2015, it adds up to something darker than comedy.
Well, I tell you what, Trump's administration now, you do that now, this administration, this second term that you Democrats messed up, you messed up and allowed him to get a second term. And you messed up, doubled down, messed up by allowing him 4 years to figure out how to get back. Oh my goodness, you guys gave him everything. It's like, what is this saying? One often finds his destiny on the road he takes to avoid it.
Exactly. That's the irony, right? The harder they fought to keep him out, the more fuel they gave him. Now here we are, second term, and the same people who called him Hitler are watching him actually govern again. That Kathy Griffin stunt? Try that now. I doubt the DOJ clears her that fast. The temperature's completely different. You reap what you sow, and they sowed a whole lot of rage.
Yeah, they did. And it's really dark and it's really upsetting. My kids are homeschooled, obviously. Don't want them having anything to do with anything public school wise. People are like, well, they won't be socialized. No, that's exactly right. I don't want them socialized with those kids at that school. I don't want them to be socialized. I want them to be socialized around me, my wife, our church family, people who have their interest at heart, not other kids who want to attack and beat them up and abuse them. And my wife found a music class, a free music class, inner city, obviously, but the building's been renovated. It looks like the city probably put a couple of $1 million into a building in the middle of the inner city, lower in Price Hill. Really awful neighborhood, but they're learning music and it's all good. Well, now I'm starting to hear all the stories about all the hate and all the violence and all the anger towards my kids. And I was going to pull them out and say, I'm done with this. This is my whole point. But they fought for it and they want to keep going back. I said, okay, well, you'll learn how to deal with the worst of the worst. You're going to have to learn how to deal with this. And instead of dealing with this for 8 to 9 hours straight every day at school, they have to learn how to deal with it 2 hours a day, maybe twice a week.
That's a tough spot, man. You're trying to protect your kids while they're pushing to stay in the fire a little. 2 hours twice a week versus all day makes it manageable, but the hate and violence they're catching is real. You're right. It's not socialization. It's exposure to something dark. The fact that they're fighting to keep going shows they've got grit. Just keep your eyes wide open, stay close to them, and make sure church and home stay the main influence. That's your anchor. Sounds like you're navigating it the best you can.
Yeah, no, definitely. One incident that recently happened. One of the girls about his age called his name, said, "Hey, come over here real quick." And he said, "I knew